of Euro USD from December 7th. Okay, so this was your Asian lows that was swept at there. Okay, and after the swept of Asian session lows, you have this fair value gap. Okay, actually I guess this was a BPR. Yes, so you have this BPR with a market structure shift as well. Okay, your entry would be somewhere like that, and your stop loss would be the candle of the BPR, right? So as you don't know, like if the market is rangy or choppy today, so you will use your normal stop loss placing, right? So this was your first loss, and after that you have another fair value gap with a market structure shift as well. Yeah, so this would be your second loss. So you are minus in 2R negative. After that you have these rates on these lows, and you have this uh, bullish pressure at where is it, 215. So in third kill zone, this was your fair value gap at the extreme. If this was a BPR, I wouldn't have taken this trade, because this is a FVG and you have a couple of them at in a single momentum, so you can take as you know, we have the bearish candle in between them, right? So this was the fair value gap, the only fair value gap that I can see in from here to here. Okay, now this is where my first entry would be, on the open of fair value gap. Now where should my stop loss would be? Now you know that you are like following all the rules. You have the Asian lows swept, you have the fair value gap, you have the market crash rate, you even have the BPR as well, but still you are losing the trades. So at this particular time, you know that market is very rangy or choppy, and you need to close your days in blues, like in profits. So you will get back with your normal stop loss placings. So be it losses. Now this was your fair value gap candle. Now many of you would have been gone with this, right? So this was not the case at here. Your stop loss would be the body of the previous candle. I have mentioned this in one. Your first target would be the 5R. Where's the 5R? Okay, your first target would be the 5R. Now you are in positive 3% of for the day, right? Then the rest of this hit your, let's say, break even. Okay, because if you took this fair value gap as well, this could have been a trade again, but not in this scenario. You have the move again, like the market structure shift and the fair value gaps, and for me this is what I can see. The market structure shift, where's the structure? You have the fair value gap. Now you know, in this scenario, as you all know, you have to use your stop loss like this, right? On the last low, because the pair is very choppy today. So in this scenario, if you do this, so this is where your stop loss would be, this is your entry would be, and this is where your stop loss would be. Now this is like 5%, so we won't use that wide stop loss, right? So for this, what you could do is take the 50% tool. Now this is where my 50% of the fair value gap is. Now I will ensure on the 50% of the fair value gap, and my stop loss would be the last body, the body of the last candle before the fair value gap. So after that, my target would be the 5R. Okay, my first target would be the 5R. and my second target would be the Asian sessions high. Now that turned out to be an 8-hour trade. Okay, so we didn't hit any break even or anything. So 8-hour and 3, yes, including them, this was the 3-hour. Okay, you are in 11% of profit. Many of you were catching the moves inside the kill zones, right? So this is not how you should do. Like, this was the Asian session size swept. Okay, now you know you are at the end of the London session. So what you should do is you should wait, like if you are somewhere over here, right? So you know that you are at the end of the London kill zone. You should wait for the London kill zone to be end and then wait for the swap, because by doing this you would have taken out the London sessions highs, and then your target would be the London sessions low. So in this scenario, where was your first entry after the London sessions swept? Actually, this was the market structure shift. Okay, and this was the fair value gap with the market structure shift. Now this was a valid loss. Some of the guys were using this as their stop loss. Now, as you still know that market is rangy or choppy, your stop loss would be above the eye, and you could have taken the 50% of this. So you have another loss. You were there turned out to be a 10R. Counting this was 11, and this is -1, so 10R. Now after this, what do you see? This was a fair value gap, but I don't see any clear. Yes, there was this uh, structure shift with this BPR. Actually, this was BPR, you don't need one. So this was your entry. Your stop loss would be the body of the above candle, and you would be probably taken out on this trade as well. So you are on -9R. Do you remember your first trade was this? Your second trade was this? Now, as you know, you set the Asian sessions low. Obviously, your target would be the Asian sessions high. So your bias would be the buys, right? You won't be selling it here. You won't be selling it here. You know that the Asian sessions highs are still pending. So in this scenario, as we know that Asian sessions highs are cleared, lows are cleared, London sessions highs are cleared. No, only thing is left is the London sessions lows. So after, we will continue looking for the sells. So this was the build up before the New York kills. This was the build up, right? So after this build up, you don't see any selling pressure with a fair value gap. This was the selling, like, this could have been a counter trend, but this is not as a selling pressure because you don't have a fair value gap inside it. So the only selling pressure I could see is this one. But in this scenario, this fair value gap is not inside the 0.50%. Like, this is below the premium zone and you are selling in it. Okay, as you are a beginner, you don't know about premium or discounted. If you're looking for sales, you always look above for sales above the 0.50 level, and if you're looking for buys, you for buys below the 0.50 level. Okay, mark this on your Fibonacci. So let's say you took another loss at here. Fuck, I didn't break even. So you are -8% of your day. We did the last buy side swept over here. Okay, and if you look closely, you have the market structure shift with a fair value gap. Okay, now this is where your entry, and as you know, the stop loss. And where should you target for this particular trade? Stop and tell me. Stop the video and tell me. Now for me, what I would have done is to close my like days above 10 hour. So as I am already in like 8% of profit, my first take profit would be the 5 hour. My next target sessions lows, and when this was the target would have been met if somewhere over here. My next target would be the London sessions low, but I doubt it would, like, it won't go till there. This is for 53 more pips. So how much was that? The trade went for 13%. And after this first trade, you would have this internal range liquidity on 1 minute, and you have this BPR, right? This was your balance price range, and price exactly tags into it. Your stop loss above these two candles, your target would be the same, the New York session lows. The first would be the 5 hour, the second would be the New York session lows, right? And you see after that, this is only if you are layering your trades, because I won't be taking this trade as well. I will only look for this, the one sell or the one buy from the bottom or the top. I only do the one trade, and that's enough for me. I don't do this layering. And like on a good days, like we had on Monday, I would probably go with layering with 0.25% of my risk, but I don't do it every day. So this was the BPR, this was your second entry, and after that you have another BPR. This whole was your fair value gap, and this was the last fair value gap. So this was your BPR put, and if you can see, price exactly drops to our target if it was the New York session open. So we still are yet to be met with our target, but as you all know, 10-hour target, 5 hour, 10 hour, and our next target would be the 20% rate would be the New York session lows, and same goes for this one. So 10 from here, 10 from here, 8 from here. This was 5 hour trade, -2, -3, and minus. So after 5 losses and I guess 5 wins, no, 4 wins, you are up for the trade for the day, and that would be like I guess more than 20%. Now let's go over US30 as well. US30 like gave all of the entries today. So this was the Asian session swept. This was the fair value gap, but there is no market structure shift. Is there any bullish candle? No. Where's the bullish candle? The last bullish candle, it is here, but it did not reach there and break through this high. So this was not a valid trade. This would have been a valid trade if there was a BPR inside. So we swept again from this low, and now this was the fair value gap, and this was the BPR. So this is how you would have refined it. Now let me show you something for your stop loss. If this was EU, like Euro USD is choppy, your stop loss would have been this, or your stop loss would have been this. And if this was EU on Mondays, like if you remember, this was your stop loss, the PPR candles low. Where would you target? The 5 hour. You did target met at somewhere over here, so it exactly tags into the 5 hour on this fair value gap and then drops again, and the rest of the trade took you out on your break even. Now after that it went again in the buy side direction. This was your, let me define it, this was your BPR, and let's say you took a loss over here. Okay, although this did not look pretty well, but let's say you took a loss over here. Okay, this was the last loss price. This, if you see this as a trend line liquidity, the build up during the London kill zone, price swept through it again, and I took one loss. Somewhere here, I don't remember. Yes, I took the first loss on on US30 somewhere here. This was my first loss. This was the fair value gap. This was the market structure shift. We swept the Asian lows, we swept the London lows, and we should uh, target for the London session highs. So this would have been my stop loss, and my target would have been the 5 hour first. Okay, but I got greedy and I was targeting 10 hour of my trade like I usually do. So my this trade took me out on break even. I like put the trade on break even on 5 hour, and I did not took any partials out of it, because I was so confident on my trade that, because we set the Asian lows, we set the London session lows, and this was the valid entry. So that's what the reason I was confident on my trade. After that we swept again at here. Okay, and this is where Cristiano took his trade, the sniper student in our group. This was the fair value gap after sweeping all the lows. Now you would target for the highs as well, the buy side liquidity. Your first target would be 5 hour. Perfect. And your next target would be 10 hour, and after that you were London sessions highs. Now watch this, 30%. Right, 5 hour if you were to trade over here, because your rule is you need to take, okay, 5 hour, let's say this as a 30%, 35. We took a loss over here I guess. Okay, and one loss over here, so 2 loss and 3 wins, and you are all good to go. If we go through US30's history with this indicator, let me delete this. Now this was the only day, no, not this one, this was the only day that I see no entries. This was the Asian session. In London session, let me do it some like this. This was the Asian session. We swept the Asian session, okay, and we swept the London session at this week. And Friday US30, oh, NFP I guess. So price exactly there would have been the fair value gap and our 1 minute entry model as well. So if you are watching this video, I want you to backtest US30 on December 2, and like all these past days, like a week or two, so you can get better hands on this model. So this was the Asian lows. Price swept the Asian lows in London session, and then we took a buy somewhere over here, and our target would be the 5 hours. Second target would be the London session highs. Third target would be the uh, Asian highs. See, the price swept the Asian highs first. We took a sell. It would have been a sell. We targeted the Asian lows. After that, we took a London session highs. We swept both of these highs, and during the New York session, we again dropped, and your target would be the London session lows. So this is why US30 for me over USD, Euro USD. But yeah, I will keep an eye on both of them, like for a week. So the one which works better for me, I will trade it. So this was the Asian session. We swept the buy side, and price again targeted the Asian session lows, and same like here, we swept the highs. We created equal lows on London kill zone, and the New York kill zone swept this both of them. Same in here, we swept the lows. Like days like this are perfect, right? We swept the Asian lows, we swept the Asian highs. Okay, then again price went back here. This would have been there would have been your entry, there would have been your entry. And when price went back there to sweep this Asian the London session highs, there would have been another entry that would this is where your target would be for this cells. So this is same all over in US30. US30 works very well with this indicator, with the session cycles. So I want you to backtest the previous 1 week of your US30. Sorry, I guess I said Euro USD before. So this is it for today, and if you have any questions, you can ask me in the Telegram.